So why is fertility rates below? Okay, abortion. Rob, is there a chart to show how much abortion has increased over the years?
Oh my
like
goodness.
year-over-year abortions. If you can show year-over-year abortion, okay, in America.
I have a feeling it's going to go up, Pat. It's
Year-over abortion rate.
long
okay?
term.
Abortion.
Just here or worldwide?
I don't care. Whatever the number. U.S. is preferably what I want to see. So what does that show you? Goes down, comes up. So depending on who the president, it goes up, comes down. Okay, fair. So abortion, 1. Okay, and by the way, you know what that impacts the most? So this was brought up, started Planned Parenthood by a lady named, what's her name? Singer?
Margaret Sanger.
Margaret Sanger, which by the way, there's been a lot of things that she said. The biggest thing Planned Parenthood has impacted is African-American babies.
Yep.
Tom, there's a word you use. What do you call it?
I call abortion in America a genocide on African Americans. 14% of the population to 17% of the population, depending on what year you're talking about, yet they've run 38 to 40% of the abortions. I happen to think that Barack Obama shouldn't have been the first black president. He probably should have been the second. And I think that there is an atrocity that's there that I could go deeper on, but that is a statistical fact.
Okay, so let me continue.
And Kanye talks about that.
Yep.
Not that Kanye is making a lot of sense these days, but that is one thing that is accurate.
Boomer generation is the largest generation since I think millennials are the only one that's close to them.
Yeah.
76 million kids born between 46 and 64. Obviously, they're not having babies anymore. Selfishness, we're thinking about ourselves. You got vaccines, you're saying, allegedly. Maybe somebody can do the research on that. Values and principles declining. Church going declining. Testosterone declining. Too much of what do you call it?
Porn.
Porn, we said porn, but there was too much... this is a
Internet,
different word. No, it's social media.
Social media.
Too much social media, which means we're spending too much time on the phone, not interacting with others.
Yes.
So husband and wives are in bed, not talking to each other. They're on the phone. You're definitely not having sex.
For sure.
Or singles are just in their home on the phone doing dating apps and not meeting up in real life, IRL.
Porn being accessible, faith, modern feminism, okay, boss babe, married the state, not a husband. So the other day, I'm sitting down talking to a group of a couple that was sitting in front of me. And the daughter sits right in front of me. He goes to my left. He's 12. She's 12. They're sitting right here. They're 42. And the daughter's like, I want another sibling. And they have 2 kids. I said, so why 2? Why not more than 2? She's like, well, you know, we've talked about it, all this other stuff. I said, look, you guys make good money. You're good people. You're raising good right values and principles. Why don't you go for 3 or 4 or 5? And the husband actually was straight up. He says, look, the Warriors, we got 2 healthy kids. I worry, what if the 3rd one isn't? By the way, very valid concern.
Yeah,
okay?
Sure.
Very valid concern on what could happen, especially when you're age and you're going through it, right? Okay, no problem. Yesterday, I'm walking the dogs middle of the night. One of my neighbors pulls up. We start talking, high-end lawyer, stud of a guy. And I said, so what's going on? He says, we're expecting our second. I said, you got to be kidding me. He said, no. I said, seriously, yeah. He says, I'm surprised myself because we didn't think it was possible. How? My wife's 48. No way.
Wow.
Yeah, she looks like she's 38. Well, okay, great. So he's 48. They're having their next baby. No problem. Good for them. There's a fear of having kids. There's a fear of we're not going to enjoy our life and it's going to be about me, 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 me. This level of selfishness, if there's a way to rate the level of selfishness in America according to the book Power versus Force, you would see America's become more of a selfish nation. We all have. Everybody's thinking more about themselves. Let me tell you, do you know when you have kids, everything revolves around them. This weekend, Friday, I have to drive up to Palm Beach. I have to put them there. Jen has to take the kids to another birthday party on Saturday. Saturday morning, Dylan's got a soccer game. We have to be there at 7:15. Wow. Then he's got another soccer game at 1 o'clock. So there's a 4-hour break that there's nothing going on. Then after the soccer game, his legs hurt. Then I took these guys to go watch a movie. We watched a new Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the whatever it was. That was actually a very good movie. Then we go to dinner as a family. When we're going to dinner as a family, we eat at this place, Butcher's something. Is it Butcher's Club? I think it's at...
What city?
Butcher's Palm Beach. Type in Butcher's Club restaurant, Rob. Just Google anything. Butcher's Club Palm Beach, okay? Food was awesome. A little slow, because typically when you go to a place with 4 kids, you would hope they kind of move a little faster.
Yeah.
But we saw a bunch of nice people. Waiter was very nice. They were good people. Food was ridiculous.
Look at that. That was truffle.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's taking so long that I'm like, Jen, I can't have Brooklyn being here. She's climbing on my back. We walk out. I walk out. Kids start racing. When the kids racing, they come back. And then finally, we're walking back. Brooklyn trips on her own foot and hits her head on the edge of a door. Like, imagine a metal door edge.
At
like
the
this.
restaurant?
It splits her back of the head. I put my hand on the back. There's literally blood all over me.
God.
Blood all over her dress. The kids start panicking, all of them. Of course, it's your sister, baby sister. Dylan, Tico, Senna don't know how to react. We call the ambulance. We call the cops. They come out. We go to the ER. She gets 3 stitches in her head, okay? And that's Saturday night. Then we get up. Dylan has a soccer game in the morning. Then we have to pack. Then we have to come back. Dylan has a football game in the afternoon. So we go to the football game. It's literally 100 degrees.
Jeez.
Then we come back home. Then you got celebrating Grace's 16th birthday, future Supreme Court Justice.
Grace.
So we're celebrating that. And then, and from there we go and then there is no weekend.
No.
There is no weekend. There's no chance to do what you want to do with you. There's no date. There's none of this stuff.
You're not taking a nap?
And guess what? Of course, you don't have but guess what? 10 out of 10 times I do it all over again.
For sure.
10 out of 10 times. You know why? Because you're seeing something grow. When Tom comes up to me and says, hey, Pat, just want to give you my dates in advance. This date, this date, this date. I said, what is it? These dates, I'm going to go with Bailey to look at these schools because this, and I'm going to go through the interview. Tom lights up. Tom's a whole different human being when his girls are around him. He's not the same guy. Whenever you see Tom, look at Tom when his girls are around him. You've been around him when Christmas we're at Aspen.
Yeah.
Tom's not the same man when his kids are around him. He's a different man when his kids are around him. You just can't explain it, right? I think we have sold this selfish society of not having kids. We have sold faith is a bad thing. We have sold live for you, not for others. We have sold not having kids because they own you, and we have sold so many different things, and people gradually are buying into it. But I'm telling you, one of the greatest risks you'll ever take in life, if God blesses you, is to have kids. If you're teaching the right values and principles, you make money, you're able to make it work, have as many kids as possible. There is risk to it. I'm not telling you it's going to be all perfect and dandy. There's a scary part. It's valid. You ought to be scared. You ought to be concerned. You ought to be doing the due diligence on all the vaccines kids should be taking, not be taken. You ought to be concerned about what things you're not comfortable with, how to raise your kids, private schools, public. All of these are valid concerns. But the opposite side, like I was telling this couple, I'm like, guys, you have to realize life doesn't make sense to me without Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Life doesn't make sense to me without Brooklyn. I can't explain life without Brooklyn. If I don't meet Brooklyn, life doesn't make any sense to me. So this idea, when you're seeing stuff like this, there's the logical argument, there's the divisive argument of the depopulation community, and then there's the argument of, look, man, one of the greatest blessings you'll have is if you can experience, everybody's experienced what it is to love a mom. Because if you're born, your mom gave birth to you. Love of a mom is different. If you can experience love of a father, it's different. Love of a sibling, different. Love of a best friend, community, different. Love of your job, trade, different. Love of God, different. Love of your trade industry, different. Love of your country, different. Love of a child, I'm telling you, it's so unique. It's so tough to describe. Look at the way Brooklyn sees you, how she runs up to you.
Mm-hmm. Well,
imagine that's yours.
Yeah. Yep.
It is so difficult to explain, but when you have it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I just don't know if we're selling this. I don't think the people that have kids and are enjoying it, I think they're selling too much of the drama and how hard it is and all this stuff, and they're not selling all the other good stuff. I'm all for it, but I also understand the risk aspect. I'm not going to sit there and say there's not a risk to it. I get it, but I'm just telling you it's a risk we're taking.
Yeah, well, I sent you something on your phone because you are making a difference, and when you read it, I'll tell you the story right there. But you're absolutely right. Everything in life comes to risk and reward. But there's another R in the risk and reward situation. You crying?
No.
Making you emotional? I know, Pat.
He's playing the whole, my eyes are, no, I'm joking.
My eyes are itching.
Yeah.
But there's another R in the risk reward thing, and that is regret. And what you get to, the beautiful thing in life is that you get to choose your regrets. I've heard Chris Williamson talk about this before, but you can choose your regrets. I will never forget PBD. It was Thanksgiving 2020. We were at your house in Dallas. and you and Jen made that announcement, right?
Yeah.
And I won't go into all the details, but long story short, you have Brooklyn here. But you guys took the risk to have the fourth child.
Yep.
Made, 2 boys, 2 girls. I know you talk about you'd have 100 more if you could. But I'll never forget that Thanksgiving dinner. The table was crying. Oh my God, this is crazy. This bad, another kid. Oh my God. And then a month later, we moved to Florida. Boom, it was all good from there. But I'll circle back to there is a difference between men and women. And I'll use an analogy. I always encourage men to take your time because women get their shine on the front end. Where men, it takes a lot more time to basically become a man of status. And sometimes it's going to take you into your 30s or 40s to become that man. And I encourage men, when it comes to dating, test drive as many cars as possible just to see what the final car that you want to buy. If women test drive too many cars, they're known as high mileage vehicles and they have too many tread on their tires and nobody wants a used car. But with a man, if they actually get a lot of practice like Vinny's doing, he's no longer just a used vehicle. He becomes a classic muscle car. So it is different. And when I talked about geriatric pregnancy after that, after 35 and 40, women can't have kids. Men, we take some time, like a good pasta sauce, take some time to basically become our own. In our 40s, there's a reason why men are called silver foxes, but nobody's like, oh, look at that hot chick with gray hair. It's not a thing. George Clooney, Leonardo DiCaprio, it's a little bit different. Tom Ellsworth, all major studs that are out there
big time
that basically take time. Tom, you didn't get married and have kids until your 40s, correct?
That's right.
Okay. And how old was Kim when you had your first kid?
I'm not allowed to say that publicly.
Okay, but way younger than you because you outkicked your coverage. Good for you.
Yep. Well,
all I'm saying is there's a difference between age between men, and women at least need to acknowledge that you could be equal but different. Men and women are different.
So we should have like a national, everybody get out there, find somebody you like and hook up day just to save humanity.
That'll rock the vote, rock the
boat,
rock the cradle.
So hate that I say this, but by your definition of over 35, we had 2 geriatric pregnancies.
Let's go, Kim.
36 and 41.
Here's what I want to tell you. The announcement is both Dave Smith and Chris Cuomo have agreed to a debate.
Oh, that's
Yes.
great.
May 31st, Friday night, 6 to 9 p.m.
Friday night fights at
6 to 9 p.m.
That is sick.
Okay? 6 to 9 p.m.
Wow.
It's official. It'll be at our comedy club that we have, 5990 Live. And this is going to be what the people want. The people from the establishment who don't want to see this conversation take place, they're going to do everything in their power to prevent this from taking place.
Fauci being one of them.
Whoever it is.
Yeah.
They're going to be watching. Within seconds of making this announcement, I guarantee you messages are being sent saying, are you out of your flipping mind? For those of you guys that haven't yet registered for this, just go to 5990 Live, buy a ticket. VIP sell out ASAP, and then it'll be about 185 to 190 tickets. VIPs will have cigars with us afterwards. But looking forward to this.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.